Hello and welcome back to the Big Lad Podcast. Today is episode 13 and I'm joined with Grace. How's things with you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thanks. I see you went to get your hair cut today after a long time, I imagine.
Oh yeah, definitely. I went back and he was just like, "How long was it that I last saw you?" And I was like, "Oh, it's been about a year." So
That long?
yeah, I mean, but I'm a
Wow.
girl. Like, you don't need to get haircuts every
Yeah,
2 like you guys. Like,
that's
yeah.
true. Like, to be fair, I wouldn't even know how often a girl got the haircut, to be to be quite honest.
To be fair, it should be more often than a year. But
I imagine that, yeah. I'm in desperate need of a haircut. Like I messaged my barber earlier. Actually, I was like, "Have you had the big rush yet?" And he was like, "I'm actually on appointments this week because it's that busy." I was like, "Okay, I'll come next week then." Like well overdue a haircut.
at least we'll have like good practice by that point. So hopefully you won't
Oh
mess it up.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I'd be a bit disappointed going back, and I could have got a crap trim from my mum again. I think I've trusted her like 3 or 4 times, and it's literally taken her about an hour to do my hair, and I'm just like, this is painful. I'll just do it myself.
I actually got quite good at giving boy haircuts over lockdown. Like, I started off and I was awful, and then slowly I was like, actually, this is quite like a smooth fade going on.
A little side hustle going.
Yeah.
So obviously, like things have reopened this week. We've got the gyms back, we've got the pubs back, and shops. And the only one I've only been to the gym so far. I'm going to the pub tomorrow, which I'm kind of looking forward to. Just being in some sort of social setting for the first time in like 4 months. I don't know about you. Have you been out and about yet?
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously been to the gym, like that's just a given, and I was really nervous actually before I went on the first day, and it really shocked me because I thought, what, like, why am I nervous? It's a gym I've been to before, and I was so excited to go back. Um, and then like just before I went in, I was really nervous, but obviously the second you step foot in there, you're just like, oh, home.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Like I think quite a lot of people have had a bit of gym anxiety, which I put a post on Instagram before about actually. Um, but yeah, I think a lot of people have been stressing about actually going back because obviously it's been what 4 months I think since the gym's shut.
Yeah,
Um,
I did a post, or I did like a story, I think, saying
yeah,
that I'm a bit nervous. And I have received so many messages back from people being like, either thank you for saying it, or oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one. So I definitely think there's a lot of people who have been nervous about it. But then, like, I then got messages from them after they had actually been, and they were like, oh, it was a lot, it was okay, it was fine. So that made me
yeah,
happy.
yeah. I think a lot of people just build it up in the head for it to be something a lot worse than it actually is. Because at the end of the day, like you said, like most people had been the gym like 4 months previously and were going back to a gym that they'd already been in before.
Exactly.
And I think for me, like, I mean, I wouldn't say I was nervous about going back. I think it was more butterflies of actually getting back in and like getting back into a routine.
Yeah.
But like as soon as I walked through, it was a little bit of a weird feeling. I think more the fact that there was just a load of people there.
Mm.
And yeah, once I got going, I was fine. I actually I opted not to put my headphones in because I was just going to put my headphones in and crack on. I thought, you know what, I've not been here for 4 months and I just want a bit of atmosphere of like other people.
I definitely thought that. So I've been working out in my garage for like the past however many months,
Yeah.
and I normally put my speaker on, I blare the music loud,
Yeah.
and definitely have a couple of dance parties in between. So I had my music on with my headphones, and in between sets, I was like, "Don't dance, stay still, act normal."
I've seen a load of people about do things like that, like make TikToks and stuff, saying like rest at home, but like compared to rest at like in the gym. I was like, that's a valid point to be fair. Like imagine someone just like breaking out into a dance in the middle of the free weight section.
Oh my god, that would be funny. I think it should happen.
Oh, it would be, yeah, just even to just catch someone out doing it like without thinking, that would
Yeah.
be the best. But what have you actually enjoyed most about going back to the gym this week?
Um. Oh my gosh, I don't like. there's so many things that I think are so difficult to like say. So obviously, like do you know what the lat pull down?
Yeah.
I have missed
That's the first machine I went on.
Yeah, same. Because everyone always says to me, like, oh yeah, you love training glutes, like, oh, just leg, like you only do leg days. Back is my favorite, like,
really?
By far. I love training back. If I could, I would do it like 3 times a week. But
that's some commitment.
Yeah. So definitely that, and then the cable machines as well. Because I mean, I have dumbbells and Olympic barbell and bumper plates at home.
Yeah, same.
So it was just kind of like the cables that I was missing the most, and like other machines as well.
Yeah, I planned on doing like a full cable workout, and I got in there and all the cables were taken. I was like, no. I was just gonna get on there and just like, swap between all the different attachments and just do a full body like cable session. But they were all full, and then I saw the lat pull down. I was like, I'm going. Yeah, I just went straight to it, and then I managed to get on the cable straight after that, which was a bit of a blessing. But yeah, definitely missed cables, and I think not only just like certain exercise, I think I've just missed like the actual atmosphere of going and
definitely
just going and doing like a proper workout. Like, to be fair, I've got a decent setup at home. Like, I was quite lucky. My brother paid for a whole setup. Because he doesn't like going to the gym, so he'd rather work out from home. So he was like, I'm just gonna spend money and rig the garage up. And I was like, yay. I was like, thank you. And to be fair, like I've not used it as much as I probably should have, because I started doing a lot of running and stuff like that, trying to get ready for football, and then obviously messed up my knee, which is not ideal. But yeah, I think just the motivation for working from home just wasn't there for quite a while.
Like, even I kind of had a similar situation. Like, over the past 3 lockdowns, I've slowly accumulated loads of equipment. Yeah. I remember in the first lockdown, I saw Wolverton said new barbells released now, and I literally went straight on it, ordered it, didn't even look twice at what I was buying. I just bought it. Yeah. And then I got bumper plates, and then I've slowly got like a squat rack and more equipment. So I feel really bad, because I feel like I should have used it a lot more, but the motivation and just the determination was just not there. It was cold during winter, and
yeah, that second one was a tough one. When it was at the whole of November.
Yeah.
That was, I just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, same. And I really realized that my love for fitness in the gym and working out was because of an actual gym and the feeling of being in an actual gym. And of course I did love my workouts every so often at home, but like nowhere near as much as to when I'm actually in a gym.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, once I started doing a workout, it'd be a good workout, but it's actually getting up and going and doing it. Like, I've said it on previous podcasts, like, why would I want to go from a nice warm house to a freezing cold garage?
Literally.
It's like if I've got to go somewhere, then it's a lot easier. Like, I wouldn't even mind if like the gym was freezing. If I've got to drive there, like, I'll get in the car and drive there. It's weird. I don't know why.
I think it's also the idea of like the routine, because when you're at home, you either can just come back inside if you don't want to do it. Whereas when you actually get in your car, you put some good music on, have some pre-workout, maybe you drive to the gym, go get your session done. Then also, number one, if you're not feeling it, then once you're there, you're like, well, I'm here now, so I might as well stay.
Got to.
And then also you just have other people around you smashing their goals, and it's just so like motivational, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think people almost push you on in the gym without actually doing anything. I think it's just the fact that you're there, it pushes you on a little bit extra than you probably would at home.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and even though like the music is crap in like commercial gyms, like I've even missed just that. Like, literally I have the same playlist on for about a month in JD, and for like a solid month at the same time I was in there every single day, I would hear like Cher would come on, Believe, and I was just like, I even missed that. Like, halfway through like a bench press session and you're listening to Cher.
I know. I think in my gym they've got like a radio, like a radio station basically for the gym.
All right.
Or their chain of gyms. But every so often you then have the music, and then it will just be adverts about their personal trainers or about their gym offers and all of this kind of stuff. And so yeah, I just can't listen to it. I have to have headphones.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like the most annoying thing for me actually these days are adverts. You know, when you're trying to just watch like a video on Facebook or YouTube, and then it gets to a good bit, and they do it purposely because they want you to carry on watching the video, and it gets to a good bit in the video, and then they put an advert in, and you're just like, gotta wait for 30 seconds now. And you know you're gonna wait because you wouldn't know what happens.
Exactly.
But like, it's so frustrating listening to adverts, and it's why I'd never listen to the radio, like ever.
Yeah, and I think
in the car.
And I think even, and it sounds awful because obviously I use Instagram for my business as well. Yeah. But when I see sponsored posts, it really, I don't know why, it really bugs me.
Yeah, so like when I'm scrolling down my feed, I usually just like everything, you know, just to like, and then I hit like a sponsored one. I'm like, nope, unlike.
Yeah.
Like I will go back and unlike it. And it's like, to be fair, it's someone like trying to get out there, usually with like a business or something. I'm just like, no.
Yeah, I feel awful about it afterwards. I'm like, what? Why would I not support them?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it's just this whole idea that you go online and it's constantly people trying to sell you things, and I guess it takes away, I guess, from just enjoying your time online. Yeah,
I'd agree with that. I think it's just one of the things we've got to deal with more than anything. There's nothing really we can do about it. I mean, I think you can click on them, can't you? Like not interested or something, but I'll be like not interested in just that type of sponsored ad. I think you'll still see other ones.
Yeah.
And the worst is when your phone listens to you. Like we tested it out in work.
Yes.
We had a whole discussion. Like I can't remember, like on barbecues or something. Like just to test it, and then next minute we all went on Instagram and we all had sponsored ads for barbecues. I was like, this is creepy. Like it's so weird.
I was with my friends the other day and we were talking about, I think we were talking about poly dresses, and then next thing I know, I go on my phone, have an ad for it.
It's so weird. Like surely that's not right.
No, I don't know how it works. I don't want to know how it works.
I want to turn it off.
Yeah. But I guess if they gave us the option to turn it off, then everyone would. So
true.
They just don't give us the option.
True. So obviously going back into the gym for you, that's not just you actually going back to the gym, is it? Do you personal train in a gym as well?
So I used to. So before the pandemic, I did one-to-one personal training, and I was also a class instructor as well. Then I actually, just before the pandemic happened, I did actually start doing online coaching. So it was maybe like a month or two beforehand, which was amazing timing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. So then I managed to switch all of my clients to online. And then I've slowly been growing it since then. And then I finished university, and I used to work at my university gym. So then I've moved back home now. And I don't know, I just haven't really thought about doing one-to-one again. I mean, I really enjoy it. Yeah. And I love it so much. But I can also help so many more people online than if I was to just do one-to-one. And that's what really appeals to me about it.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people are going that way, and like I'm currently doing my PT qualifications.
How's it going?
I'm on level 3 at the moment. I just need to do the assessment for level 2. I didn't realize they were open like a couple of weeks back to actually be able to go. Yeah, they opened up earlier for whatever reason, but I think I'm just going to book in level 2 and 3 at the same time and just get them done together. Yeah, but yeah, it's going well. But I personally will never work in a gym. Like I'll be I'll just be going straight online.
That's really interesting.
Because I'm an accountant, like as my day job, and
so you want it to be like a side hustle kind of thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, I've got plans and ideas to do some sort of like local area boot camp sort of thing, just like go into a field and get, I don't know, 10, 20 people and do a workout once or twice a week. But yeah, never actually work in a physical gym. And then hopefully get to the point where I can scale it and go full time with it.
Yeah, that is
that's the plan. And then, I don't know, live the influencer life, I guess.
Exactly, like, and that's really why I've been trying to push my online coaching recently, is because I do want to go travel. I do want to be able to continue doing my job, but not necessarily from the UK. Yeah. So I guess it just goes hand in hand. Although I do love the one-to-one coaching, I don't think that online coaching can compare to it, just because being there in person, seeing their program, seeing where they started to where they are now, like even with like form or anything like that, it's so like inspiring and great. But then I guess you also see that online as well. You get to see your clients when they begin, and then you give them their help. They go and grind behind the scenes, and then they come back to you and they're like, look at me now, and it's amazing.
Yeah, like progress photos and things like that are there.
Yeah. Okay.
But what are the plans for you then? Like, have you got any ideas of where you want to go traveling in particular?
Well, kind of. So I was supposed to move to Bali for 6 months. That was in September. And then now I don't know. I think the plan is to still go to Bali, but maybe also some other places as well. Obviously, you need to see about restrictions and when everything opens up.
Yeah.
But the plan is definitely to get out of the UK as soon as possible and go see the world.
I think a lot of people are going to have the same idea. I think airports are going to be absolutely rammed once they're properly open again. And it's going to be a genuine nightmare, I think, to actually get out of the UK for a good few months.
Probably.
So what you're saying, like, sort of have Bali as like maybe a base and then sort of go to other places from Bali? Like,
so I mean, it was very loose planned, but I somewhat had kind of planned it out how it was going to work when I did move there. So the idea was that I was going to have Canggu as the base, and then travel around Bali like every so often, so that I could always come back to Canggu and then go off to the Gili Islands and just have a look around and explore, I guess, while also doing my job and then just enjoying myself.
Been over there before as well, haven't you? On holiday.
I went 2 years ago, and I was only there for about 2.5 weeks. But that's awful, isn't it? I mean, for traveling, I feel like that's not very long. Yeah. But
it's a long holiday.
Yeah, it was the best 2.5 weeks of my life, probably ever. I went with my 2 best friends, and it was just so much fun, so amazing, and I just completely fell in love with Bali. And I literally was like, I have to come back here.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
You have to get yourself a YouTube channel to go with it as well.
I was just about to say, it's so cliche, and I hate that. But here we are. I'm gonna have to become a travel influencer or something.
No, the thing is, if you think about it as well, like imagine in years to come when you have like maybe kids or whatever, and you can just say like, well, this is what I did when I was like 23, 24.
Yeah, and how cool would that be to be able to turn around and be like, this was my life. Like if I can do this, you can do anything when you're older.
This is your mum. Look, I'm cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's any issue with making a YouTube channel if you're going traveling.
Yeah, I think with me, I just don't. I'm a very creative person, but not with technology.
Right.
So I don't know how to edit, filming angles, any of that kind of stuff. And you can tell from my Instagram as well. Yeah, I'm not the best with editing whatsoever.
So I wouldn't say you were that bad. I'd say it's not as bad as you're making it out to be. Like your videos are pretty good. But I think it's definitely something that you learn doing, I think.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I don't think you can like go on a course and find out. I think you've just got to learn what's right, because everyone's different at the end of the day. Everyone has their own style. Like The issue I have is in my head, I've got ideas and then I can't put them into a video.
That's literally. I'm
Like,
like, how cool if I could do this,
yeah.
and then I go to actually do it, and I'm like, wait a second, like, how do they do that? I don't know.
Well, my issue is like I need someone else to be filming it for me to get the like angles and transitions that I want. Like I can't do it on my own, and like every now and again I get my brother to do some stuff because like he's kind of creative. Like I'm probably the least creative one out of the four of us. Like I've got three younger brothers. I'm the only one that doesn't play a musical instrument.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just lift weights and play football, go to the pub. But yeah, like in my head, I've got ideas for videos, and it's just like, just I don't know how to get them into an actual video and edited, but I'll get there. Like to be fair, if you look back on my Instagram, like there's about 800 posts on there now, but if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there is some bad content.
I've had to archive a lot of things.
I've just left them for a laugh, to be fair.
Yeah, some of the stuff that was originally posted, and I've had my Instagram account since like 2016, 2017, and my plan was never to like use it for a business or anything. It was literally just there for me to post my own progress, my own, like, just put my own passion into something. And yet somehow then I randomly decided to become a personal trainer when I was at uni, and it was mainly just because I found that I was helping my friends anyway in the gym, and I was basically personal training them, but I just didn't have the qualification.
I've had that as well. Like my mate used to call me PT no qual.
And then I was like, I might as well get a qualification, and then I can do this alongside uni. And the whole time I was at uni, I pretty much said to everyone, they were like, oh, so you're going to like PT afterwards? I was like, no way, definitely not. And then I was like, wait a second, I actually really love this and I really enjoy this. I'm not that bad at it, so I might as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're just got to take things as they come sometimes, haven't you? And like if you find a love and a passion for it, then why not pursue it?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely the whole like, me and my friends always joke being like, gym is my personality, because it just is. And I'm like, when gym shut, I was like, I've lost my personality, it's gone.
I was so moody when the gym shut. So like when they first shut last March, that was the day before my birthday.
No.
Yeah. And I was just like, I was so moody on my birthday. Like so moody. But yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? And then
the gyms reopened the day after my birthday, and I was like, I just wanted to do like a back session on my birthday.
I remember you messaging me as well saying that you might be a bit hungover going to the gym on Monday.
Yeah.
How was it?
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought, but I wasn't top notch. Let's just say that.
You gotta enjoy yourself every now and again, though, haven't you? Especially for your birthday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting with a new coach in a couple of weeks' time, and we were kind of like, we weren't sure whether I was going to start on the 19th or the 26th, but I'm going out for my birthday, more celebrations, on the 18th. So I messaged him and I was like, maybe we should start on the 26th instead. Yeah. So I was like, I don't think it's a good idea.
Perhaps best.
The day after I go out.
Yeah, it's probably not the best idea. Probably not the best start either to a new program. It's interesting you say that. Like I've never actually had a coach or a PT, like ever.
I haven't either until well, in a couple of weeks' time will be my first time.
Oh, will it be your first one?
Yeah, which is really exciting.
What are the goals with that then?
Well, so I think what I tend to do is with my clients, I have a really I kind of know what I'm doing and where we're heading with their plan.
Yeah.
When it comes to myself, all my knowledge just decides to go out the window.
Right.
And I just go, oh, I'll try this, and then maybe I'll try this, and I get overexcited, and I'll be like, oh, I really love this exercise, so I'm going to do a lot of that, or I really hate this exercise, so I'm not going to do that. And I'm not very hard on myself, I guess.
Right.
Like I let myself off quite a lot. So I really wanted a coach for accountability, and also to streamline the progress, I suppose, on the process.
Yeah.
To be like, Grace, this is what we're doing. This is the plan. Now go home and do it, kind of thing. So our initial goals are to get my physique back to pre-COVID, but better.
I could do with that.
Yeah, and then get my strength back to what it was pre-COVID, but also better, because I built up like a fair amount of strength before the lockdown. I was the strongest I had ever been, and then the lockdown happened, and now trying to like deadlift and stuff, I just get sad because I'm so weak.
Yeah, I think the only thing I've probably struggled with is legs. Whilst being in lockdown, because I've had sort of the tools to be able to do upper body.
Yeah.
It's only recently, since my brother kitted out the garage, that I've been able to do like any sort of legs, and that's been since I've been training to like get fit for football again. So I basically started running twice a week. And what I found previously is I used to find it really hard to fit legs into a training plan each week, because I played football twice a week.
Yeah.
So I'd always be like aching a little bit coming into training or coming into a game. And I felt that was why every now and again I'd pull my hamstring. So what I decided to do, I started running twice a week, and I just didn't do any legs, because I was like, I'm going to end up just goosing myself, because I haven't ran for like 4 months or whatever it was. I haven't ran for ages. So I was like, I'm going to just have to give myself as much rest as I can get.
And it's so sad, because you try to do running to prepare yourself for football, and then you still injured yourself.
Yeah, not a muscle injury though. A bit worse, it was my knee. But yeah, it's just one of them. It happened. I'm just got to deal with it and crack on. Good news yesterday is that I'm not going down the surgical route just yet. Getting rehab and physio. So hopefully that can sort me out, because I definitely don't want to be on crutches and learn how to walk for the 9 months afterwards.
Oh my God. It would be like a whole nother pandemic on top of the last
It would be the worst thing. But to be fair, I'd already mentally prepared myself for it. But as soon as the physio said yesterday, he was like, yeah, I'm prepared to put you down the rehab route. I was like, thank God. Like, I'd been stressing out like all day. Like, I'd had like butterflies all day yesterday, and I was just like, I'm not looking forward to this consultation. And then I came out of it and I felt so light.
I can imagine like a huge weight.
Oh yeah, literally. Like, I was just like, I got in the car and I just was like, yes. But yeah, it's just one of them. But like I said, I think a lot of people probably have struggled for legs at home. I think it's a lot easier to sort of work your upper body, especially like if you've just got a barbell, then you can do so much for upper body and a bench, where it's a lot harder.
Yeah, for a while I just had the long resistance bands, the one.
Yeah, I don't want to see a resistance band ever again, to be honest.
Honestly. So when I had those, that was so much easier to train upper body. And then, yeah, with my barbell and stuff, until I had the squat rack, I mean, I could do like hip thrusts and I could do deadlifts and lunges kind of thing. But yeah, I think the squat rack was the game changer for it all, really.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like the thing is as well, we've had that squat and bench rack in ours only since I started doing the running, and I've not done a single squat on it. Yeah, but like the first lockdown, all I had, like the heaviest weights we had was a set of 20 kilo dumbbells from like our next door neighbour, and I don't know if he's expecting to get them back, because we've still got them. Like, it's over a year we've had them now. So yeah, it's one of them. But like, will you still be doing any home workouts, or are you solidly in the gym now? Because I've seen a few people that are going to mix it up still, and I was like, what? Really?
Yeah, no. And I feel awful saying that, because once again, I have the setup to do them. And like I've said to myself, like, if there was ever a day where I was insanely busy and I just didn't have the time, because my gym's about like a 20-minute, half an hour drive away, so it adds like a good extra hour on top of my session to go to the gym. But I just can't see myself training at home, which is awful. No, the gym is just the gym for me. Like,
I'm the same. I
better.
think, like you said, like unless I'm like stupidly busy,
Mm.
then I mean I've got to be stupidly busy, like ridiculously busy to even bother going in ours, because my gym's like at tops a 10-minute drive away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I've got to be like mega busy not to be able to get to the gym, to then
Yeah.
have to do a quick workout in the garage. The only time I may use it is if I'm doing like one of my how-to videos for form.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. And I have actually thought about that because
Yeah.
I invested, not really invested, it was from Amazon, very cheap, in a tripod over the lockdown just to kind of film my home workouts. And I told myself that when gyms reopen, I'm going to be that person.
It's so hard to do.
Gym. I haven't got the courage for that yet.
I
Soon,
know.
we'll see.
To be fair, the only time, when did I take my tripod? I did take it in a couple of times, and it was only when the gym was dead.
Yeah.
Like the first lockdown, I took it in about 4 or 5 times, like the week before the gym shut, you know, when everyone was flapping it about COVID and stuff, and they just didn't go anywhere. I was like, I'm still going to the gym, they're open. And then I think it was just before Christmas, I might have took it in a couple of times then as well. And I don't know why I had like a ridiculous amount of confidence apparently at that time, because like the gym was still reasonably busy, and I'm there like pulling all the legs out and like standing it up and getting the angles and stuff. But I then invested in, you know, those, is it a gorilla pod?
Oh yeah, the ones that like grip onto something.
Yeah, but then you get people looking at you like, what are you doing? Because you're trying to struggle to like wrap it around something and it just starts falling, and you're just like, I give up. So like,
in between, like just before the most recent lockdown, I saw a girl in my gym and she had like a full blown, like a big tripod with the legs and everything. Like she was probably like getting her angles and stuff. And I just looked at her and I was like, oh my gosh, like you've got so much courage. You go, girl. Like I need to get that confidence. I was like,
the thing is, it's not even that like big of a deal, is it? Like it's
no,
just people looking in interest most of the time.
yeah, exactly. Like I looked, I was like, that's sick. And then
Yeah,
got with the rest of my workout. And
that's
so
it, isn't it?
I'm like, if I've got that mentality, then surely everyone else would, hopefully.
What I usually find helps is you put earphones in and just block everything out.
Definitely.
And then you almost don't see people looking at you. But I'm going tomorrow to a gym with one of my protein girls to do a workout vlog.
Oh yeah, you said.
And I was like, this is going to be potentially really awkward, because the gym I go to, I was like, I'm definitely not vlogging in there. Like I know too many people in there that go personally, and quite a few people in there now follow me on Instagram. I'm just
really?
like, I'm not prepared to be vlogging in the middle of that gym. Like I can literally, like, I think I went in there yesterday and there's like at least probably 10 or 15 people you at least recognize, never mind like no, like just recognizing them. I'm just like, no, I'm not prepared for that. So I was like, we're going to a different gym.
I definitely think that you should do the exercise that I suggested, like 100%.
Which one was it again? It was the
lateral raises, but you do a hold on one side while doing 10 on the other, and then you swap to the other side. Then you do 9, 8, 7, you go down to 1.
So I can imagine. So like for people listening, basically what we're doing is we're allowing our followers to decide what our workout's going to be, and then we're going to be putting the sets and reps into like a random number generator to decide how many we do. And I've actually had 3 different lateral raise exercises.
Okay.
Like, yeah, because like that's why I asked like which one was it, because I've had like 3 of them. They're all horrible. Like one of them was starting at 10 reps. You do 10 reps, then drop your weight down to 9, all the way down to 1. I was like, surely that's a lot of dumbbells. Like there's surely not enough dumbbells to be able to do it, unless you've got singles going from like 10 to 1.
Yeah, no, that sounds horrible.
Then
I remember doing my PT course, they were trying to teach us about like the lactic acid system. So they said, so you had to do like 40 lateral raises, then I think it was something like a 30-second rest, and then you had to repeat it like 4 more times to like feel. They were like, so we want to like teach you like the burn, like so you can feel the lactic acid and stuff.
Jesus Christ. I'll just
yeah.
tell that if I'd be like, no. I know what like the cost is. Like I've played sports and been in the gym for like yeah, none of that. There was another one that someone sent me. It was like I think it was like 10 partial lateral raises, then 10 like half lateral raises, then 10 full lateral raises. I was like, are people trying to kill us? Like, I know it's like YouTube's meant to be entertaining and stuff, but there's like things that are just like painful.
I know the first thing I thought when, because you said only upper body workouts because of your knee. So the first thing I thought was, what's the most painful upper body exercise that I know of? And I'm going to suggest that.
It's just directly against gravity, isn't it? That's why. It's horrible. So where are we up to? I'm just looking at my notes. I think we'll go back to gym anxiety. Like we touched on it briefly to begin with, and I think we've covered it like slightly as well. And I think one of them that people struggle with is, like we were saying just then, was about people staring at people in the gym. And I covered this on the video I posted today, and I basically said like most of the time it is just people blanking out during like a rest between a set, and unless you're doing something absolutely ridiculous, then that is probably the reason they're looking at you. Obviously there's some weirdos that will literally stare at people, but I mean it's a very small minority compared to the people that are just sat there on a bench just monged out listening to music in between a set.
Exactly. I think quite a lot of the time, especially if I've just done like a really heavy set or something, I'll kind of like sit there and I'll look out, I'll completely blank out, and then I'll realize that, oh my gosh, I'm either looking at someone or I'm just staring at the ground. So number one, hopefully that happens a lot. But also if someone is just staring at you, then you can either do the tactic, which is my personal favorite, of just stare back at them. I feel like that's just the best solution to the problem.
Yeah, then you'll definitely find out whether they're staring at you or they're just like zoned out. Because if they're zoned out, they'll just carry on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just put your headphones in. Get like, if you've got your plan, like at least you know, okay, I'm going from this machine to this to this, and just try and focus on yourself, because I can guarantee that like 99% of the people in there are just focusing on themselves, and they really are just in there trying to better themselves and not in there trying to like pick apart what you're doing.
Yeah. No, as well, like I think going with someone with a similar goal, like a friend, or like you may even be able to find someone on Instagram these days, like all you have to do is like search the like location for the gym that you're at.
That's so true.
And obviously if you're struggling to find any of the machines, I said on the video before, obviously quite a lot of these gyms now have social media pages. Like you can just go on them and have a look at the posts that they've put to sort of get a rough idea of where things are. And quite often as well on websites, they either have a floor plan or they'll have a video literally showing you around, like a virtual floor plan where you can literally go around the gym.
Exactly.
So there's definitely ways about doing it. But like you said, like pretty much everyone in there is just trying to better themselves more than anything.
Yeah, definitely. And especially I find that generally the people that are kind of the most intimidating are like the proper gym goers.
Yeah.
And out of everyone, they're the ones who are there for themselves, who don't care what anyone else is doing but themselves. And I feel like those are generally the most intimidating people for other people at the gym. So
I reckon they're also the most paranoid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're all about them and quite often how other people are seeing them as well. So like they may come off like intimidating, but quite a lot, I reckon people are worried about, again, what people are thinking of them, because they are the big gym goer people.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think, and that's the thing, it's completely like human nature to be anxious and worry about other people's perceptions of you. So yeah, I do feel like with time, as you get more confident with what you're doing in the gym, you do just start to kind of either push it to a side or you just stop caring.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Like, if these people don't have an impact on your life, I don't think you should be too worried about what they're thinking in the first place.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And if you are a newbie to the gym, like or even if it's like the first gym, like if you're moving to a new gym, everyone's been in that position at some point in that gym. Like everyone's been a newbie at some point. So
Exactly.
people are just further along. I hate to say it, but further along the journey. And you've just got to crack on, I think.
Yeah, I was voice noting one of my clients today, and she was saying like it's so intimidating, like there's people everywhere, like what if I'm doing my exercises wrong? And she was saying like they just like everyone just seems so experienced. And I said, you've got to remember everyone started where you're at, or even actually probably before where she's at. And I said, I definitely did. I said, when I first started going to the gym, I had all the time, I barely knew what I was doing, and I was just trying to get by. And the best way to better yourself and to get more confident, unfortunately, is to just do it.
Yeah.
And to just turn up every day and try and do a little bit more than you did the day before, and try to just improve whatever you're doing a little bit compared to what you did last time. And that's just the best way that you're going to see progression, with both like feeling anxious about it, but also progression in the gym.
And like you said, like just doing it is going to make you better. But like I found when I was younger, when I wanted to try like a new exercise, I'd just Google a video. Like everything's out there these days. It's so easy to find. Like my mum actually joined the same gym I'm at. She's not been yet. And she's like, what if I don't know where everything is? I was like, I'm going to have to write you a floor plan, aren't I? Like number them. And she said, but what if I don't know how to use the machines? And I was like, there's literally instructions, like there's a sticker instruction of how to use it. And quite often now you'll find there's a barcode that you can scan and it'll show you how to use it. Like I've noticed that in a few gyms. Yeah. So
but also, there's, at least in my gym, there's personal trainers everywhere, like just walking around, and you can say to them, or if they're not personal trainers, they're at least fitness instructors, and you can kind of say to them, I want to do a tricep extension, can you show me how to do it on the cable machines? And they to be honest, they're probably like, that's going to be the highlight of their day, helping you do that.
Yeah, it's usually cleaning up weights and stuff, isn't it?
Exactly. Instead of like sanitizing everything, they're going to be like, yes, let me help you.
Yeah, exactly. It's what they're there for at the end of the day. And quite often you can just walk into a gym and ask for an induction and they'll show you around and they'll ask like, what sort of stuff is it that you're interested in? And they'll literally give you a tutorial of anything you want.
Exactly. And yeah, that's the thing, is if you pre-plan it all, even if like get your phone out on your notes, write down like 5 to 6 exercises that you want to do for that session, right? Even if it's just like 3 times 10 for the exercises, and then just look them up in advance. And even if it is something like a squat, you can kind of practice it at home in body weight. And then okay, maybe I'll start off by adding a dumbbell instead of a barbell and then slowly build it up. But you can prepare so much at home so that when you go to the gym, it doesn't seem as daunting.
I think what you said there as well is important about the 3 times 10. I think a lot of people try to overcomplicate the rep ranges. And I think for the average person, or at least like a newbie, 3 times 10 is more than good enough. Like quite often I'll stick to 3 times 10 or 4 or 5 times 10. Like rep ranges isn't going to make a massive difference. And well, obviously it can. Like if you go to like the bottom of the rep range and the top of the rep range, there's a big difference. But 3 times 10 is like a sweet spot. Like between 8 and 12 is good enough for any new starter, because it's not going to be too heavy that your form's going to go rubbish, and it's not too many that you're going to just burn out all the time.
Exactly. And I have lots of clients saying to me, okay, that's fine. Like, let's say their program is 3 times 10. They go, okay, that's fine. So what weight should I start on? And it's like the rep range is literally there, and that will tell you what weight you need to be lifting. So I say, if you do the exercise and you can only do 6 reps on whatever weight you pick, then you know you need to go down in weight. If you can do like 15, then you know, actually I can go up in weight a little bit. You want to just be trying to do, if the rep range is 10, you want to maybe maybe you could be able to do 11 reps, but you're going to stick to the 10, so it's not complete failure.
Yeah, you never want to go to failure. I don't think, in general, I don't think I've really ever hit like complete failure. It's a bit risky as well. Depending on what exercise you're doing. Like if you're on complete failure all the time, you're just attacking your central nervous system for starters, and you're just increasing the chance of injury like every single rep that you do. And
I haven't done a 1 rep max since November of 2019. So,
I did one about 3 weeks ago.
Was it your bench?
Yeah. I was feeling like I wasn't even planning on doing it. And I was just feeling that good. Because like my usual bench routine is like 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. And then I'll just do a back off set of 10. And I got to 4 and I was like, that felt far too easy for 4. It was like my usual weight. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see where it's at. Because I hadn't done a 1 rep for about 2 years before that. I just wasn't interested. And I thought, you know what? This is feeling pretty good. I'm just going to go for it. And I went straight into a single after the 4 of 130, which was my original PB. These aren't even that impressive weights either for someone of like my size and height and everything. But then I just thought, you know what? I'm whacking 5 kilos on it and just hit a 135. And it was fine.
Sometimes you do have those strong days and you're like, you know what? I'm going to push it. And you know as well, full well, that, okay, unless you're a powerlifter, doing a 1 rep max isn't going to get you very much benefits. But it makes you feel like so strong and confident.
Yeah, I've actually got a video saved that I need to edit, actually, that's all about 1 rep maxes and them just not being worth it unless you're a powerlifter. So yeah, that'll be out probably around the time this podcast comes out, actually, on Monday. But yeah, the risk is just not worth it for the reward. Like you feel good for like a couple of minutes after you've done it, but after that, it's not. Whereas the potential injury, like you only have to look on Instagram. What's that lad that tore his pec the other week? I can't remember his name. Have you not seen the video?
No.
Oh, I'll send it you after this. It's horrible.
Like fail kind of pages.
No,
because I like Instagram pages that are completely like for failed.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. I don't like watching.
You watch some of them, you just cringe.
No, it was this fella. He was working out with Larry Wheels in Dubai. He was on like an incline press for. I think he was doing a 1 rep, and literally like his whole pec like tore. You see it just like shift across his chest. So like the risk of like the reward of actually hitting that weight versus the risk of potentially being out for, I don't know, he's probably going to be out for like 6 months, like before he's at least. It's just not worth it. And I think people just need to leave their egos at the door when they go into the gym. Like,
sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think people also forget what their actual goals are in the gym. So if your goals are physique goals, if your goals are to build muscle, then a 1 rep max is not the most efficient way to do that.
No. Like what I was going to say was quite often you find it's young lads trying to impress each other and like they just keep adding more weight on and you see the form just like getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm just like, something's going to happen. And like quite often, like I'm lucky to not seen it, to be fair, like happen, or like I'm lucky. Well, the people who I've seen do it are lucky not to have been injured. I think is probably the better way of saying it. But it's just people just need to, like you say, realize what the goal is and then sort of work around that instead of trying to impress your mates or trying to get a couple of 100 likes on Instagram. It's just genuinely not worth it.
And that's the thing is, I feel like quite a lot of the time as well, people will be like, oh, the heavier weights you lift, the better. And of course, to a certain extent, that is the case. But you need to have good form with it. Good form is so much more important than having than lifting a heavy weight. Because if you can't feel it, if you're not doing it correctly, it's not going to hit the right muscles anyway.
That's what I've said. Like from day one on my account, like form overweight, and like I'm a reasonably big person, and I'll probably never be lifting the heaviest weights in the gym. Like there'll be someone there, but I can guarantee that my form's probably better than whoever's lifting heavier anyway.
It's probably also that they don't have such long limbs like you.
That's such a disadvantage. It's so annoying. Like I've got a mate who's like 5'8", and he'll go in the gym and like we'll do a bench press session. He's like, "Oh, you're struggling with that?" I'm like, "Look how much longer my limbs are." Like over a bench press, every set, like every rep is probably about a foot difference. Like I reckon my arms are at least 6 inches longer than his. So like up and down, that's a whole foot, like every single rep.
Mm-hmm.
So it only takes a couple of reps for me to have done like one more rep than he has on the same amount of reps. Distance-wise.
Speaking about this, then I really should be a lot stronger than I am because I'm
Grace.
I'm so short.
You're only 5'2"?
Yeah, I'm tiny.
Wow, I didn't realize you were that short. This is what I was saying on a previous podcast. It's so hard to tell how tall people are on Instagram.
Yeah, I know. It's so strange, isn't it? Because some people, you look at them and you're like, whoa, you're like really tall.
Yeah.
Then you meet them in person and you're like,
you're really not.
Yeah.
So, like, I always have the issue of like trying to fit in the actual box on Instagram. That's my issue. Which
you're gonna have to do all of the like. You're gonna have to stretch the post out a little bit longer, so they're the rectangle ones instead of the square.
Yeah, but then the thing is, I'm like, I always want it to look decent, you know, like in the grid.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm just like I always have to play around with it, and then like for a test, I look in, you know, like my camera roll where it's all the squares, like the grid layout, and I'm like, I don't quite fit in. I'm gonna have to adjust it again. But at
that point, you're like, so what do I cut off? Like, do I cut off the top part of my hair, or do I cut off my feet?
Exactly. Like, it's so annoying. But yeah, I've had a few people like who I've met, and they've said, "Oh, you're so much bigger, like taller in real life," and I'm like, I had literally put my height in my bio, like so people know. Like, surely you knew I was tall anyway.
How tall are you?
6'4".
Bloody hell!
So we're at two completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
And that's the thing. If the meetup thing happens, I would know this.
Well, as I was speaking to someone about this today, actually, as soon as everything opens up properly, I'm going to get back on it and organise it. Yeah, for those listening, basically last year I organised a big meetup. There was going to be, I think it was nearly 40 of us meeting up in London to do like a workout, get some content, and then just go out on the piss, basically. But I organised it for the weekend after the weekend after everything shut. So I think everything shut on like the 24th, and we were meant to be going down to London on like the 29th. And honestly, the amount of time it took me to actually organise that event, I had a spreadsheet and everything. There was like colour coding. There was work
as well, didn't you?
What was that?
You got accommodation too, didn't you?
Yeah, so basically what happened was I got all the people, then asked them all, like I had to find one date where the most people could go. And then I basically had to be dead sly and cut people out. And I was like, I've got to accommodate for the most people at the end of the day. And then I narrowed it down again to who needed accommodation, who didn't. I even put follower count on at one point. I was just like interested how many like cumulative followers we had that were going to be turning up. That was a bit sad and took me a while. But yeah, I had a separate spreadsheet for accommodation. It was all sorted. I sorted a gym out, like a special rate for the gym. Sorted out a place for us to eat and drink. And then I think I was in the process of sorting out like a nightclub or something to go to afterwards, like with a couple of booths.
Yeah, and then something like pergola on the roof or like a rooftop bar kind of vibe.
Yeah, it was going to be class. And then I literally just, I was so gutted when lockdown came. But yeah, as soon as everything opens back up, it's going to be back on, and I'm sure there's probably going to be even more people that want to get on it because other people had heard about it, and then were like, "I want to be a part of this." I was like, "Christ!" And obviously, like over the past year, I've met more people through Instagram, and I'm assuming they're going to want to come as well. And it'll be worth it. I hope. I just hope I can find somewhere big enough. But yeah.
You have to end up just hiring out a whole gym.
That's potentially what it might actually have to get. Like I was going to do that at one point. The issue was we had too many people for this gym. It was too small.
Really?
Yeah, for fire and like health and safety rules. So I think it only allowed like 20, and I messaged them. I was like, "We've got 35," and they were like, "Yeah, we can't because of like health and safety." I was like, "Shit." So then I had to. I think it was Gym Box that we were going to go to. That's a big one. Yeah, but yeah, I'll sort it out again. Don't worry. But before we wrap up the podcast, do you have any sort of final tips for newbies or just people going back to the gym in general? I think we've covered quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say get prepared. So get a bag ready, put everything you need in it, such as like water, headphones. If you're doing like a leg day, maybe like resistance bands, just anything that you feel like you might need. And also take more than you think you're going to need. So for example, like I have a barbell pad, I've got lifting straps, just stuff like that. And I don't use them all the time, but at least if they're there, then you have the option. Then definitely I'd say the most important part is get a plan. So that doesn't necessarily mean you have to get one from a coach or anything, but even just writing it down so that before you go in there, you know exactly what you're going to do. That's really helpful. I would say warm up and cool down as well and stretch.
Yeah, there's not a lot of that going on at the moment.
No, and
I've noticed. Yeah, I feel like I'm the only one who warms up. I'm just like looking around, like people just go straight into lift, and I'm like, fair play.
Yeah, my body couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I'd also say, so have you heard of reps in reserve?
Oh, yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know what reps in reserve means, it's basically kind of the reps that you have left over until failure. So I would say you want to be hitting like reps in reserve, like 3 or 4. So that means that if you're doing an exercise, lifting a certain weight for 10 reps, you could actually do 14 reps.
Yeah.
You're only going to do it for 10 reps so that you don't completely fatigue your muscles and they aren't going to be completely broken after your session. And then you can obviously over time slowly decrease the reps in reserve so that you are hitting closer to failure and kind of targeting the muscles a little bit more with the weight. Yeah, I'd say probably those would be the best tips. And also take a buddy. If you have a training buddy as well, I think that's really helpful and helps with confidence too.
I'm just going to add something in because I've noticed that already over Instagram, people aching loads because they've gone back into the gym trying to lift the weights that they were lifting 4 months ago. It's like I put on an Instagram post the other day. If you'd been off like the ale for 4 months, you're going to take it easy, aren't you, on that first night out? Like you're not going to go try and drink everything that you were drinking.
This is me. Until the other day, I had not had a drop of alcohol in 2021 until April.
I wish I could say the same. Moving on, this is a fitness podcast, everyone. But yeah, basically, if you've still yet to go back to the gym or you've been a bit of a divvy and you've gone back in and tried to lift the weight you were previously and now you're really sore, again, just leave your ego at the door, lift lighter weights. Take advantage as well of lifting lighter weights to improve your form, because then by the time that you are able to lift those weights again, you'll probably have better form doing it and you're less likely to get injured.
Yeah, and focus on mind to muscle connection as well. Like that's one of the best ways to actually target the muscles, feel the muscles working, and make sure as well, it kind of tells you if your form is correct. Because if you're feeling an exercise where it's not the muscle that you're targeting, then you're doing something wrong.
Quite often it's your lower back as well. Your lower back will tell you anytime you are doing an exercise wrong. Rest days as well. Make sure you take them. I know, like, it's been dead tempting for me to just go every single day. And today I've had a rest day because, well, tomorrow I'm potentially doing a brutal workout for YouTube because people are giving me stupid exercises. But yeah, take your rest days. If anything, I'd be taking more than you were previously, just to give yourself that extra time. Last thing you want to do is go back into the gym and get injured straight away. Mm-hmm. Just also, like me going back to football and getting injured straight away. But that wasn't because I was lifting the same weights as previously. I just landed awkwardly.
Okay. And that's the thing, like you can build on your plan. So start off really small, even if potentially it's not as much as you think you need to be doing, because in your next session, okay, you'd be like, okay, my body was okay with that, I can add more. The last thing you want to do is do a session and then it completely wipes you out for like a week and a half, because that's not going to benefit your progress at all. If anything, it's going to push you further back. So take your time.
Rest is just important, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's actually working out. But I think that wraps everything up before we do like basically a double podcast. I think there's like so much more we can speak about, and I'll definitely have to have you back on again, because it's been a really good chat, and I think we've provided a lot of value. And I hope there's still people listening right now. And if you are, let us know. But yeah, if you have got this far in the podcast, thank you very much for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you drop it a like, and if you're new, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.
Yeah, thank you so much.